Welcome to Monday Musings with the Blended Mama, gentle encouragement for busy women finding calm in the chaos. I'm Teresa, and this is a quiet place to pause at the start of your week. No pressure, no productivity lecture, just a few minutes of perspective and one small step you can carry into the days ahead. I'm really glad you're here. Today we are talking about something that sounds simple but can be surprisingly hard, and that is the idea of starting small. There's this voice that shows up sometimes, and if you're me, it's a lot more often than sometimes. But that voice whispers, this is the season. This is the time to finally get it together. Let's fix everything. More discipline, more consistent, more fit, more organized, more everything. And if I'm being honest, health is where that voice gets loudest for me in the season that I'm in. Now, 10 years ago, I actually ran a marathon, and I say actually because I ran exactly one marathon. And then I pretty much stopped running. And I've tried to bring it back off and on over the years, and every time I do, I hit the same wall. I'm not where I used to be. And that comparison to marathon me is heavy. Present me laces up her shoes, expecting past me performance, and when it's not there, I feel disappointed. Like I should be better. Like I should be capable of what I once accomplished. Like if I can't do it fully, maybe I just shouldn't do it at all. And that right there, my friend, that is the trap. Maybe you felt it too. If I can't do it big, I won't do it at all. Start small is not about lowering your standards. It's about lowering the entry point. And there is a huge difference. So right now, I want to improve my health because, friends, perimenopause. I think that's enough. But that means for me looking at nutrition, weight, stress, movement. And if I'm being really honest, I want it to be fast. Who doesn't, right? And all of those things, who doesn't want quick results? But none of those things change overnight. And if every time I try to attack all of them at once, I burn out because I live in that all or nothing space. If I can't run 5 miles, why run one? If I can't meal prep perfectly, why plan at all? If I can't move every day, what's the point in moving today? And that thinking has cost me more progress than anything else. And you might be realizing right now, it's not a lack of discipline that holds you back. It's unrealistic entry points. So this season, I'm starting smaller than my pride would prefer. Right now, my small step is super simple. And to be fair, it still took time for it to feel simple. But I take my supplements every morning, and that's it. I track it in my planner. It's one of only two daily habits on my weekly page. Just two, not 10, not a full lifestyle overhaul, just consistency in one small area. Now, I tried a couple different things with creating a routine around taking these supplements. And where I have found that sweet spot for me was I take them at the end of my first cup of tea while the second cup is brewing. And that just kind of tiny rhythm, that's finally working for me. And because I'm taking my supplements, that means that my night sweats are back under control. My body generally feels more stable. And it's not because I did a complete overhaul of my life, but it's because I committed to something small and I kept it. And that small is helping me to build trust with myself. For me, start small shows up in my planner like this. So I limit my habit tracker to just one or two habits at a time, including my supplements. I am really working to break my goals down into next actions instead of having like these huge, giant outcomes as my goal. I'm really tracking more progress, not perfection. Did I do something? I take credit for that. That is a win these days. Was it perfect? Probably not. And instead of writing the generic, get healthy, instead I'm putting the real actionable steps. Take supplements. Be intentional with food choices. Stand up from your desk more often, Teresa, because sitting at your desk all day is not helping you. Sometimes that means I'm just walking into the living room to check on the fur babies after I finish a conference call. It counts, small counts. Now, I think the biggest part about starting small is our own ego, because small kind of feels like cheating, kind of feels like it doesn't really count. Small can sometimes feel like we're not really serious about it, but small builds trust, trust builds momentum, and momentum builds that identity, and identity changes outcomes. Now, I learned this with my blogging too. So I've been blogging for a while, off and on over the years, from blended family life to bakery life, and now I'm writing regularly about planning. But when I first switched to talking about planning, I didn't try to publish everything at once, right? I made a list of topics that I wanted to talk about, and I committed to one blog per week, not seven, not one every day, not even three, just one. And there have been seasons where that rhythm has slowed down to sometimes one per month if I was lucky. But right now, in the season I'm in, and with the systems I have in place, one per week is working. It's sustainable. But if I had tried to flood the internet with content in one, sudden burst of motivation, I would not continue to show up. I would not be showing up right now because that is not sustainable. Small made consistency possible. Starting small challenges that all or nothing voice that we have. It says you don't have to do everything today, you just have to do today. Growth happens just one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one blog post at a time, one supplement at a time, one lap around the block at a time, or in my case, down to the mailbox and back up, which I live on the top of a hill and my driveway is a quarter mile long. So it's a lot of walking, okay? But that small, it's not impressive, but it's repeatable. And repeatable is what builds that change. So here's the question I want you to sit with this week. Where are you trying to overhaul your life when you could just begin? What's the smallest version of your goal that still moves you forward? Maybe it's three priorities instead of 10, or one habit instead of five. Maybe it's one next action instead of looking at your full 12-week goal outcomes, right? Maybe it's 5 minutes of exercise instead of 50. Shrink the goal until it feels almost too easy, and then keep that promise to yourself, because small steps build real change, not flashy steps, not dramatic resets, small and repeated. If this encouraged you today, I'd love for you to follow the podcast so these Monday musings can meet you right where you are each week. You'll find links in the show notes to our free online community, information about our next book club, and any planning resources I might have mentioned over this podcast. And if you'd like a little extra encouragement in your inbox, you can join my email list there as well. Until next time, friend, be gentle with yourself. Start smaller than your pride prefers and take one steady step forward. I'll be here next Monday.